Hello there and welcome. My name is Jimmy Wikman, and in today's video we're going to look at two Confluence macros called Excerpt and Include Excerpt. And if you don't know what Excerpt is, then let me quickly just clarify or just explain what it is. So Excerpt you can think about kind of like a small container that you could put content in, and that container you can then use on other pages. So basically what you're doing is making content in one page or multiple sections of a page available to be embedded in other pages. So that might sound a little bit weird, so it's probably easier if I show you. So let's jump over to Confluence and let me show you what this one looks like. So here we are now in Confluence. So let's start by creating our pages that we want to use. And in this example I'm going to create one main page basically where I want to have some basic content, and then I want to embed content from other pages. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new page, and we will call this page summary page. So we will just have a little bit of dummy text on this one just to show you what the mix of content will look like. So let's use AI for that one. So let's just like so. There we go. And now we can just insert this into our page, and now we have a little bit of text. So for now we can just save this as our starting page. There we go. And under our summary page, let's create our first sub page where we want to embed these things. So we'll create a new one, and we call this the Excerpt one. And in this one we want to do a similar thing. So we want to have some content here, but we want to make it available so I can embed it in the summary page. So let's start by adding an excerpt here. So this is the new look that we have that I created now for a couple of weeks ago. So we have a new icon for it and a little bit nicer details of what it actually do. So let's create an excerpt first, because this is the wrapper that we will use around the content itself, and then we will insert this one in the summary page using the other macro. So first I will create one of these, and you'll see, you probably recognize this from other macros. So it's basically a little bit of a wrapper around it. So first we need to name this one. So let's name this Excerpt 1. There we go. And now you will see that it will have a name here. And you will also see that this one, we will have the title of the page itself here. So where it actually is located. And now we can add something here. So let's add an image of something. Let's check to see what kind of images we can have. This one looks nice. So let's add that one. And then let's add a little bit of text here. So let's use AI again. Like so. Now we can just insert that one. And now we can publish this one. And one of the things that we need to make sure that if you click on hide excerpt here, then it will actually be invisible on this page. This can be useful for some scenarios. When I tried this one just recently, you cannot actually uncheck this one. So if you add this one by mistake, you might end up in the same situation I was, that you could no longer make it visible. So then you need to delete the entire excerpt and you need to create a new one. This is probably a temporary glitch, so hopefully they will fix this one soon. But just so you're aware, do not click this one unless you actually want to hide it. And like so, now we have, and as you can see, it looks, once you publish it, it looks just like any regular page. Now we will try now then to include this one. So if we go now to summary page here, and I edit this one again, and now I can use the other one, the insert excerpt here instead. And what you will get then is that you will find, you can search for the source page that you need to have first. So in this case we call this excerpt 1. So you can see now everything that I have access to will now show up here. So you can see I have an excerpt in my personal space also. But in this case we can now find the pages that have excerpt. So if you cannot find any pages in here that does not have an excerpt. So they must have that one for them to show up. But what I can do now then is I can select this one, and if I click on preview we can see this is now the content that you get. And you will see also that you will have something remove title and frame. And I'm going to embed this one first without checking this one, so you can see what that one looks like. So you can see what we will get then is a little frame around it. So if I update this one, you will see that we have a little title on it here. It tells what page it is and what the title of that excerpt that we have inserted is. And then it will come, and you will see it will come in a frame. And this is great if you want to have it like a reference, like a quote for something, or if you want to embed it as a card of something. But if you want to have it so it looks like it's just part of the page itself, then you can uncheck then this box. So you click on this one and you go to the pen. And if you uncheck this one, then it will remove the title and the frame. And there you have it. Now it looks just like any other page. And the thing is, you cannot edit this on this page. So any content that you have in the excerpt here now actually belongs to another page. So this is great if you want to embed information, but you want to have them separate. So for example, this could be very useful if we are embedded, for example, non-functional requirements, like legal requirements. So you have the legal requirements are actually in the legal space, but you want to still have them in the development space as a reference. So that means that the developers cannot change it, only the legal team can. So far we have showed you what it looks like if I embed one excerpt. So let's create a new page for this one and call this excerpt 2. And then let's add an excerpt. And we call this one excerpt 2. Excerpt demo. Let's call it just excerpt 2. And let's embed another image here, just so it looks nice. So let's go and pick something else. This one perhaps. And then let's use AI again. And just there we go. But just for the purpose of demonstration here, to show you what it looks like, because you can have multiple excerpts in one page. So this can be also useful if you want to have, so people can embed multiple paragraphs, for example, but you want to be able to select which one. So what we do here is we add another one. And in this one we will, instead of having a nice image, we will have a headline. Like so, and then, oh sorry, a little bit of text. And as you can see, I love using AI, so just Confluence works. And if I don't like this one, I can now click and it will give me another one. There we go. So now we have then this excerpt is now called excerpt 3. And this one is excerpt 2. And now we can go back then to our summary page, and let's add both of these to our summary page. So we can just scroll to the bottom. and we can now search for excerpt 2, and we can now you can see that we have 2 selections here, because on this page there are 2 excerpts that we can select. So now we can select number 2, and we can see which one that one was. This one now is with the big image. And below this one now I can add a third one. And there we go. Now you have a page that consists of multiple excerpts. And what happens now if I go in and I change for excerpt 1 here, for example, and I edit this one, and I add, for example, a headline here. There we go, and let's make this one red, just so we can really see it. There we go. Now we have a new headline on this one. So if we go back to the summary page here now, and we refresh the page, you will now see that we have this updated here. So we now have a headline in red. So anything that happens on the excerpt pages here will then be reflected on the summary page where you have embedded it. So what is the use case for using excerpt then? Well, it depends a little bit on what you're doing and how you're working, but we have already said, for example, if you want to embed legal requirements, for example, or any kind of requirements, there can be a definition of done, anything that might be globally set that you don't want everyone to reinvent all the time. You can have that in one space and you can reference this one. And just to show you, because for now we have been in the same space, so let me show you then how you do this one if you want to have it from another space. So I can just show you here now in my personal space. I have now a page called My Excerpt, and I have created just the image here and a little short text. So in our demo space here now, in the summary page, we can embed this one even though it belongs to another space. So let's take this at the end here then. We can have another excerpt include. And we can now search for my excerpt. This one is the one that I have now in my personal space. And you will see now that this one will now have only one, and this is the one I have. And if you look at this one, you will now see that this one, this is now the source page. That's the name of my source page. So it will look a little bit weird when you embed something from your personal space. But this is perfectly normal. This is the way it should look. And now I can insert this one and I can update this. And now you will see that I have now content from multiple pages and also from pages from another space. So I can now build this one. And we talked about, or I talked about, you weren't involved yet, but I talked about what we can use this one for. And one case that I have used it for quite a lot is when you do, for example, project descriptions, when you have multiple areas in the project, and then you can divide it up into multiple pages. You can also do this for budgets, for example, if you have different budget posts. So rather than having one of these insanely long pages, that's a little bit difficult to work with, especially if you have to do this a lot. Then you can break it up into smaller pages below, and then you can work focused with each of those. And then you can just add everything to a summary page. So we can have, this will then be the full extent or the full content of all the subpages. So that was Excerpt and Include Excerpt. Two very interesting macros that you can use in Confluence. And I hope that you enjoyed this short video on how to use them. And if you like these kind of content, please subscribe to the channel, because I will try to publish as many of these macros as I can. And so you get a good grasp of how to use them in your own Confluence. And with that, all I think that remains to be said today is I hope you will have an awesome day and a great week.